Dave Meltzer gave 5.5 stars to Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole at NXT Takeover New York. Does that mean it's the greatest WWE match ever? We'll find out next on the Squared Circle Psychobabble. Hello and welcome to the Squared Circle Psychobabble. My name is Michael Valenti. This is Ralph Valenti. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications as we're trying to hit 5,000 YouTube subscribers before All Elite Wrestling, Double or Nothing. So the star ratings came out for WrestleMania weekend, and the top match on the entire weekend was Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole for the NXT Championship, 2 out of 3 falls, and he gave it 5.5 stars. The first time a WWE branded match got over 5 stars.
Right.
So if you put the pieces together, you make it think that Dave Meltzer is considering this the greatest WWE match ever. Would you agree with that statement?
I don't know. It's such a loaded question and it's so subjective. I mean, we had a similar conversation going back a few months ago when Lance Storm actually did a whole special on this whole Dave Meltzer star rating thing. So the thing to remember with professional wrestling is it's subjective. So I could have really enjoyed that match where there could be a casual fan who said the match was too long. So it doesn't necessarily mean because Dave Meltzer is giving it 5.5 stars that it is the greatest match of all time in WWE history. I certainly think that it's up there, and I certainly think that it's going to stand the test of time. I actually had to go back and rewatch this. We were there live, right?
Yes.
So I came away from that, and I said to you right after the match, I said, this is probably going to be the best pay-per-view or the best event of the weekend. And if it's not, that main event's going to be really hard to top. I still stand by that. I still think the Takeover was the best. I think you think WrestleMania was better when we had that conversation.
Well, when we originally had the conversation, I said that WrestleMania was going to be the best.
Okay.
I think at the end of the day, it's close because it's hard to say which is better because one is so much longer than the other.
Yeah.
So the sample size is, with NXT, what they did in their 5 matches was definitely better than what WrestleMania did with their 16 matches. Yeah. However, this past WrestleMania was one of the better WrestleManias in the last few years.
Yep.
So I guess I would say that Takeover was better, but not by much. It's just hard because of that fact that it's 3 times the length almost. So
the match itself, if you're going to say that's the best match in WWE history, you're going to be comparing it against the likes of Cena, Punk.
Yep.
Just about anything with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, whether it was Undertaker, the Iron Man match, Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, the ladder match with Razor Ramon, you're going to say it's better than any of those. You're going to say it's better than John Cena and AJ Styles, either one of their matches.
Austin Bret Hart at 13.
Austin Bret Hart. Hogan Rock probably gets ranked up there as one of the best WrestleMania matches, if for not any other reason other than the reaction of the crowd.
Bret and Owen, either at WrestleMania 10 or that following SummerSlam.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think this is a great match. I think this is going to go down as an all-time great match. But I think it's unfair to really rank this against some of the older matches. One, because the style today is so much different than what people were used to back then. This match told a story. Now, one of the knocks on professional wrestling today when you talk to people is matches don't tell a story. They're just doing spots. They're just doing moves. There was definitely a story from beginning to end to this match.
Yes.
The thing that impressed me most, and we talked about this before, with this match specifically, was a majority of the crowd there live was behind Adam Cole. By the end of that match, the whole place had erupted when Johnny Gargano won. So being able to take the good majority of that crowd and flip it to where now, okay, all of a sudden now everybody's behind Gargano and they want to see him win, even though it was a very pro Adam Cole crowd there. That to me, it's in itself was impressive.
It was very Rocky IV-esque with, Rocky's going to Russia and fighting Drago.
That's a good, yep.
And then all of a sudden everyone's behind Rocky because he just would not quit. Yeah. No matter what kind of punches Drago was throwing at him. That's the really great comparison between the two that I got out of it.
And another comparison, like I said before, too, is Rock Hogan, because if you remember, I think everybody going into that match thought that the crowd was going to be behind Rock, because it was very clear that Hogan was going to be the heel.
Yes.
With this match, we knew that Adam Cole was going to be the heel, but he's so over. Hogan at that time, to me, was a true heel.
Yes.
Now, fast forward to that match, it was very obvious that they were going to boo The Rock. And they booed him a good majority of that match until the end when he won and they popped big for him. So, a little bit of similarity, maybe not so much because they got behind Gargano probably a little more than 3/4 of the way through with some of the near falls. At the end of the day, I watched this back probably 2 or 3 times now, and I think it's a great match. I think it's going to go down as one of the all-time great matches, and it will stand the test of time. But the fact that I still have to question, hey, is it better than this? Is it better than that? I don't know if I would consider it one of the best ever. I mean, the best match of all time in WWE history, but it's up there. It's in the top probably 5 if I was to rank it myself.
Right. But, you look at this entire weekend, and there were some great matches this weekend alone.
Yes.
You have, with TakeOver, personally, I didn't even think this match was the best match of the night. I thought the tag team match was better.
Yeah.
And that one, I think, only got 4 stars. So, that's just personal opinion between me and Dave Meltzer. But then you also have the G1 Supercard where, Jay White and Kazuchika Okada got 4 3/4 stars. Kota Ibushi and Tetsuya Naito got 4 1/4, maybe 4.5. I'm not exactly sure. Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan, which I thought told a great story as well, got 4 3/4 stars. Yeah. So, we can go all day and say whether or not these star ratings are accurate or, he's just, saying this promotion's better than the other and he leans toward one way and not the other. This is a conversation that wrestling fans have talked about since 1983 when he did his first star rating and had his first 5-star match. So, it's just one of those that it's hard to say whether or not this was the greatest match of all time. But according to Dave Meltzer and his star rating, this was the greatest WWE match ever.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that people are struggling with, especially somebody like me, because I've watched wrestling for so long, you're asking me now. I love Adam Cole and I love Johnny Gargano. I think they're going to have great careers ahead going forward, and I'm sure they're going to have more stellar 5-star matches. But you're asking me to rate this match above some of the matches that have included the all-time greats. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Undertaker, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels especially. I think it's going to be very hard for anybody who grew up idolizing Shawn Michaels and seeing some of the matches he's had. Is that to say that this match is better than like Shawn and Undertaker?
No.
I remember watching Shawn and Undertaker and just being like, that's the best match I've ever seen.
The first one.
I can't, and not now. Also, another thing you got to take into account. At least this is what I grade some of the matches on, is the commentary. Jim Ross calling that match made Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. Now, Mauro Ronaldo was awesome in this match.
Mm-hmm.
So not to take anything away from him, but and it's also at WrestleMania, the biggest stage. TakeOver is huge, but it's also not in front of 80,000 screaming fans and millions of people watching at home. Well, I'm sure millions still watch TakeOver. But the fact that I still have to second guess it and say, I'm not sure where that rates, it's just also subjective. It's up to the fans to decide. Look at where he rated Walter and Pete Dunne. He said that.
I was surprised at that.
Well, and again, that's a different style matchup. It's very different than what you're normally used to seeing on an NXT Takeover.
Yes.
It was much more slow, methodical, hard-hitting, and that's fine. It was a big change of pace. Me, personally, I thought that was probably the 4th best match of the night.
I
thought
agree.
Dream and Riddle was better. I thought the tag match was better, and I know the main event, to me, was better.
Yeah.
Dave Meltzer disagreed. It's just a matter of opinion.
Yeah, he gave that one 4 3/4 stars, which I was surprised, and maybe just because I was so disappointed with the slaps, the chops
of Walter.
Yeah, maybe that's why I couldn't really get fully into it. But
do you think this was the best TakeOver match you've seen?
It's a good question.
It's tough because there's been so many good ones. You look at Almas Gargano.
Considering that I already said that the tag team match was better on this card, I would say no. But when you look at the history of it and the story and all that stuff, will it withstand the test of time as people remember it as the greatest TakeOver match? You got this match, any match with him and Ciampa.
Just about.
The Gargano and Almas match. Royal Rumble weekend.
Bailey and Sasha is actually considered one of the better.
Bailey and Sasha's Iron
matches.
Woman match. You have Aleister Black and Velveteen Dream. That was a good one.
The first match for the North American Championship.
That was one of 2 5-star matches on that weekend.
So,
the other one being Gargano and Ciampa. So it's hard to say if this was the greatest match in TakeOver history too. But we do see a common correlation here between these 5-star matches and 5.5-star matches. And that's the involvement with Johnny Gargano.
Yep.
Johnny Gargano it seems like every match that he's been in is 5+ stars. So can you say that he is the greatest NXT wrestler of all time?
To this point?
Because that's,
I would say probably. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that argument.
Yeah.
I think you can definitely make an argument for him. They call him Johnny Takeover for a reason, whether he's winning or losing. Anytime that guy's gone out there, he stole the show. I've had the pleasure of seeing him twice at both the Brooklyn takeovers that I've been to. Me personally, that match between him and Adam Cole, that's the best match that I've personally seen live. And I've been to WrestleManias, I've been to SummerSlams, I've been to a lot of big events. To me, that was the best match. I just think that the guy knows how to perform on the big level. So, to me, what's going to dictate where people rate this match and what happens is going to be what happens with their careers going forward. Because again, if they go on and they have really big careers within WWE, people will look back on that and say, well, look, there was this weekend, it was the 35th anniversary of WrestleMania. There were all these things going on, and that was the thing that people talked about, that one match.
Right.
So we'll see what happens with their careers going forward. But yeah, I mean, Johnny Gargano, he's amazing.
Yes, he is. So let us know what you think. Is this the greatest NXT or WWE match of all time? Is Johnny Gargano the greatest NXT wrestler of all time? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to share this all over social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at SCPB Podcast. Subscribe and hit that bell for notifications as we're trying to hit 5,000 YouTube subscribers before All Elite Wrestling, Double or Nothing. For Ralph Valenti, my name is Michael Valenti, and thank you for watching the Squared Circle Psychobabble.